but I haven't actually done any psychedelics since before COVID. So it's been a while. I am overdue. I am overdue for that.
Do you see yourself actually as overdue? Meaning that like, I need to get back to it. I should get back to it.
I need, I need to, yeah, I need to go to the well and drink again. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to, but I want to. I feel like it's good to, touch bases with the source of the wisdom, or, once in a while. Fairly regular. I'm not one of these people that say, when you get the message, hang up the phone. I mean, you can say that, but I hung up the phone, but now I need to pick up the phone and reconnect.
What would be the truth behind that you should hang up once you receive the message?
Well, I think Ram Dass, or maybe it was Alan Watts. Alan Watts, I think, said that. Well, his idea was that, you learn from psychedelics, you get a message, you get like, you learn from the experience. Once you've had the experience, you don't need to keep talking on the phone. You hang it up because you integrate the message and then you've got it. But these folks, Alan Watts, people like Houston Smith, and other people, they have a different perspective on psychedelics than maybe I do. In the sense that they think that, a lot of these people are dead, so I don't want to put words in their mouth. But
Sure.
Basically, they think that, psychedelics can let you have a mystical experience, or a profoundly transformative mystical experience, but it doesn't stick. I mean, you have it, you see the possibilities, but if you really want to have that, if you want to integrate that spiritual practice into your life, you need a spiritual practice. You need a religion, you need to practice yoga, you need to practice regular meditation or something like that. And so in some sense, they devalue, in my opinion, the psychedelic experience. You can pursue psychedelics as a spiritual practice. It's a discipline. It's just as hard as any other discipline if you're really committed to it. So my perspective is, well, I sort of share the perspective of indigenous people and many people who say these things are teachers. You learn from your teachers. Why would you turn your back on your teacher? Why would you hang up the phone on your teacher? You need to connect with them occasionally and say, hey, what's up, man? What else you got to show me? So that's kind of my perspective. I think it's good to check in. I don't think we should presume that once you've had one or two or a few psychedelic experiences, you've learned all there is to learn, from that source. I mean, one of the stronger lessons that I take from psychedelics that is I'm constantly reminded of every time I take psychedelics is to remember how little we actually know, and whatever you might learn from psychedelic experience or any other experience, but from a psychedelic experience, there's always a lot that remains unknown. I mean, that's just the nature of knowledge. Our knowledge is always limited. So to say that, okay, I got the message, I'm going to hang up the phone and not listen anymore. I mean, it's no different than rejecting a mentor or a teacher or someone that you might look up to.
So my understanding of that isn't to hang up permanently, but to say, okay, let me integrate, let me now live my life, because there's a message, but the message needs to be nurtured as well. Like you get a seed and you need to water it with.
That's exactly it.
With not being inebriated.
That's how I relate to it. That's right.
Some of the examples you gave, the indigenous people, they do so, but ensconced in a community, in a religion that's like millennia old. And often
Right.
people, there's now this new culture of taking it once a day for 30 days straight or doing it alone. Do you feel like the lessons that you get are of a different sort in the isolated case than in the communal case?
Well, yes, I do. I mean, in these indigenous communities, they take, it's usually done, it's almost always done in a group situation. You know, the exception being if you're a shaman, if you're a curandero, if you're in training, if you're trying to do dietas and learn how to do it, then you might go into isolation and do it repeatedly, over a short period of time. And that is really a discipline. I mean, that is really learning how to use it so that you can then go back and be the facilitator for people in group sessions. So that's a different thing. Usually in indigenous cultures, it is a group session, group kind of thing. And it's not necessarily, I mean, you can't make you can't make a rule about this because the way people use it differs. But for example, it's not necessarily something we do this every Saturday or we do this once a month or sometime. Usually they do it when there's a need, and the group has a question that needs to be answered or for healing. Okay, there is this person with an illness that needs healing, so they get the group together and then the focus is on that, And back, in indigenous cultures, it's often the shaman takes the medicine, not necessarily everybody in the group. Now with
Interesting.
tourism and all that, people go down there with the expectation that they're going to take the medicine. It didn't used to be that way. There would be a group that would gather. There would be perhaps a person or several people that needed some sort of healing. The shaman would take the medicine, not everybody there. Sometimes the person getting the treatment would be given the medicine, but the use of the medicine, it's used for diagnosis basically, and for diagnosis, and then through the visionary state, the shaman gets information from whatever source it comes from, but they get information about what to do, how to treat the person, and it could be other things too. It could be, okay, where's the game going to be next spring? What are the best hunting spots? All kinds of things. But these are things of concern to the community. And the other side, the way people might use it, is a much more personal thing. It's about internal self-examination, personal growth, exploration of consciousness, if you will. Much more a self-focused kind of activity where the person is using the medicine to connect through an altered state, essentially to connect with another with another aspect of themselves, that is not normally accessible.
Do you feel, Dennis, that your yearning to go back to what you have tried pre-COVID comes from a need, like there's a question that you're trying to solve? Or is it more just you can get a massage because it's a maintenance massage? You feel like, I'm a bit stiff.
Yeah, it's more of a check-in. It's trying to check in. I have taken these things many times, various kinds, but I think it's important to maintain the connection. And things do come up. It's not like something comes up and it might be something that I say, yes, I really need to take the psychedelic to reflect on this or that. But for me, it's more of a check-in.
If you enjoyed that clip, then the full podcast is out right now. You can click around here. Enjoy. Subscribe to Theories of Everything to get notified of upcoming podcasts, as there are new full-length podcasts every week on the topics of mathematics, physics, consciousness, free will, and AI.